What if I told you that in the smoke-filled salons of 19th-century Europe, a self-proclaimed mystic could peddle ancient wisdom to the gullible elite, while conveniently dodging any empirical proof? Ladies and gentlemen of the Stateless Standard, welcome to the peculiar tale of Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, the Russian aristocrat turned global grifter of the soul. Born into privilege, yet starved for something more exotic than caviar and czarist decrees, Madame Blavatsky wove a web of theosophy that ensnared intellectuals, revolutionaries, and the spiritually adrift. Was she a visionary bridging East and West, or merely a masterful con artist capitalizing on Victorian spiritual hunger? Today, we dissect her life with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel, equal parts admiration for her audacity and skepticism for her sleight of hand. By the end, you'll question not just her miracles, but our own enduring appetite for them. Helena Blavatsky entered the world on a thunderous night in 1831 in the Ukrainian town of Yekaterinoslav, now Dnipro, arriving prematurely amid her mother's cholera bout. One might poetically call it a tempestuous debut, bridging heaven and earth, as she later claimed. More cynically, it was the chaotic start to a life that would forever rebel against the mundane. Her father, Colonel Peter von Hahn, was a German-descended military man of middling distinction. Her mother, Helena de Faddeev, a novelist dubbed the Russian George Sand, infused the household with literary flair and noble discontent. Granddaughter to a botanist and great-granddaughter to a Freemason, young Helena was steeped in privilege and esoterica from the cradle. Yet, in a world where women were expected to simper and stitch, she preferred galloping horses, spinning yarns with servants, and rumor has it, levitating teacups. Sleepwalking prodigy or precocious prankster, the records are as fuzzy as her later astral projections. By 11, tuberculosis claimed her mother, thrusting Helena into the care of her Saratov grandparents, where she devoured occult libraries like a starving scholar at a forbidden feast. Languages, arts, history, she mastered them all, but her true passion lay in alchemy and apparitions, those tantalizing whispers of power beyond the Tsar's iron grip. Relocated to Tbilisi under her grandfather's governorship, she honed her equestrian skills and enigmatic aura in a palace brimming with forbidden tomes. One senses the seeds of reinvention here, a bored noblewoman chafing against corsets and conventions, alchemizing personal frustration into cosmic destiny. At 17, societal pressures culminated in a farce of a marriage to Nikifor Blavatsky, a 40-year-old bureaucrat twice her age in wisdom. The 1849 ceremony in Yerevan was less romance than realistic, a union to tame the wild child. But Helena, ever the escape artist, bolted after 3 months, fleeing on horseback through Armenian mountains like a Cossack in a corset. Returning to Tbilisi, she rebuffed her family's pleas, bribing a ship's captain in Odessa to spirit her to Constantinople. Thus began nearly a decade of globe-trotting vagabondage, ostensibly funded by paternal indulgence, though laced with tales of penury, decorating Parisian interiors, taming circus lions, and charming or fleecing high society. Turkey, Greece, Egypt, she sampled shamans, yogis, and hypnotists like a spiritual tourist on a grand tour. Accompanied at times by the American explorer Albert Rawson, she amassed a patchwork of esoteric lore, blending Sufi secrets with Native American rites. Admirable curiosity or opportunistic collage-making for future forgeries. Her notebooks brimmed with ancestral wisdom, yet verification remains as elusive as Atlantis. In 1851, London, fate, or fabrication, intervened. Strolling with her father, Helena spied the man of her childhood visions, a turbaned Rajput prince dubbed Master Maurya by her devotees. This enigmatic figure, part of a Nepalese delegation, purportedly tasked her with smuggling Eastern enlightenment to a materialistic West. "Leave the piano," he commanded, scorning her musical talents, "and embrace your true calling." What followed were tests of purity, grueling sojourns through Serbia's Druze enclaves, Canada's indigenous circles, New Orleans' voodoo dens, even Mormon Utah and Andean ruins. Peru's shamans, Polynesia's priests, she hoarded their myths like a magpie with a grudge against rationality. 3 failed Tibetan incursions later, in 1868, Maurya allegedly escorted her overland, Turkey to Tibet via Persia and Kashmir, for a 7-week hermitage at Shigatse's Tashalhunpo Monastery. There, under Maurya and his colleague Kuthumi, a Punjabi scholar of Tibetan Buddhism no less, she mastered the mythical Senzar tongue, transcribed sacred scrolls, and honed powers like telepathy and object dematerialization. Emerging enlightened, she vowed to combat Western scientism with Eastern arcana. One admires the narrative's sweep, 17 years of Odyssey condensed into myth. Yet diaries aside, where's the trail? No monastic logs, no eyewitnesses beyond her word. It's a blueprint for belief, cynically engineered to dazzle the doubters. By 1873, New York buzzed with spiritualism's fever, a post-Civil War craving for contact with the other side, rife with mediums and their rented ghosts. Blavatsky arrived, disillusioned with the séance circuit's shell games, insisting true phenomena stemmed not from departed souls, but mischievous elementals. Enter Henry Steele Olcott, a Freemason colonel turned occult enthusiast, whom she met at a 1874 spirit-rapping soirée. Their bond was instant, he the organizer, she the oracle. Together with lawyer William Quan Judge, they launched the Miracle Club for esoteric chinwags, then formalized the Theosophical Society on November 17, 1875. Theosophy, divine wisdom, pilfered from ancient mystics like Jacob Boehme, promised a grand synthesis, universal brotherhood, comparative religion, philosophy, science, and probes into humanity's latent powers. No dogma here, Blavatsky insisted, just a big tent for the bewildered. 16 founders, including spiritualist Emma Hardinge Britten, kicked it off. Her 1877 tome Isis Unveiled, a sprawling 300-page rant against dogmatic Christianity and smug science, rocketed to fame, blending Neoplatonism, Kabbalah, and Hindu lore. Plagiarism whispers? Oh, plenty. Passages lifted from obscure Victorian occultists. But in an era of unchecked citation, who was counting? Brotherhood beckoned eastward. In 1878, Blavatsky and Olcott sailed for Bombay, dubbing India the cradle of truth amid British boothiels. Greeted by Arya Samaj reformers, they championed Hindu resurgence, ironic given their Western pedigrees, while dodging Raj spies who pegged her as a Russian operative. Adyar's headquarters bloomed into a theosophical hub, branches sprouting like lotuses in the Ganges. Young Babala became her factotum. The Theosophist magazine, launched in 1879, preached to the converted. Editor Alfred Percy Sinnett's Mahatma missives, letters from Moria et al., allegedly precipitated via astral post, fueled bestsellers like Esoteric Buddhism. A 1880 Ceylon jaunt saw them convert to Buddhism, the first Westerners to take the precepts publicly, boosting Sinhalese pride against missionary meddlers. Yet, colonial press sneered, charlatans peddling paganism to the peasantry. Blavatsky hobnobbed with Gujarati elites, not sahebs, her bungalow a beacon for the spiritually colonized. Alas, paradise soured in 1884. Adyar caretakers Alexis and Emma Coulomb, spurned and spiteful, exposed miracles as mechanical tricks, sliding panels, hidden inks for Mahatma letters. The Society for Psychical Research dispatched young Richard Hodgson, whose 1885 report branded Blavatsky one of the most accomplished and interesting imposters in history, possibly a czarist spy to boot. Handwriting matches, forged letters, the evidence piled like kindling for her pyre. Devastated, health crumbling from nephritis and overwork, she fled to Europe in 1885. London welcomed her with open arms and checkbooks. Lucifer magazine, yes, that provocative title, disseminated her doctrines amid management squabbles. Over 100 branches worldwide by then, but fractures loomed. Undeterred, Blavatsky channeled her fury into The Secret Doctrine, 1888, a cosmic opus expanding Isis into 6 volumes on anthropogenesis, septenary cosmologies, and root races, humanity's alleged Atlantean forebears. Dictated in multilingual frenzies, it posited a universe of emanations, cycles, and hidden masters guiding evolution. The Voice of the Silence, 1889, drawn from Tibetan fragments, mapped the soul's ascent. The Key to Theosophy demystified it all. Masterpieces of synthesis, or Frankenstein's tomes stitched from Bulwer Lytton, Eliphas Levi, and Hindu texts. Critics howl plagiarism, admirers hail revelation. She toiled till the end, a glossary half-finished, her final plea to acolytes: keep the link unbroken, do not let my last incarnation be a failure. On May 8, 1891, influenza felled her at 59 in Mayfair, found serene at her desk, quill in hand, as if merely pausing for tea with the Mahatmas. Blavatsky's shadow looms large, for better or balderdash. She smuggled Vedanta to the West, inspiring Gandhi's ahimsa, Yeats' visions, even Jung's archetypes, yet birthed the New Age's crystal-clutching cornucopia, where astrology meets ayahuasca in unchecked excess. Theosophy fueled Indian nationalism, but at what cost? A legacy of empowerment laced with exploitation, where universal brotherhood masked personal empire building. Skeptics like us, at the Stateless Standard, see her not as saint or sinner, but as a window into elite frailties, their thirst for transcendence in a mechanistic age, and our willingness to suspend disbelief for a bit of divine drama. Was she fraud or prophet? Perhaps both, and therein lies the enduring allure. If this unraveling of esoteric intrigue has stirred your inner skeptic, dive deeper, reclaim the secret doctrine from the dustbin of delusion, or join us at New Acropolis for timeless traditions untainted by trend. Subscribe to the Stateless Standard for more dissections of history's hidden hands. Hit that like if Blavatsky's bluster bemused you. Share with fellow truth seekers and comment, mystic or magician. Until next time, question everything.